Hey guys, it's your girl Secret D, and we're gonna drive and chat. So I was on live earlier on Instagram with Dance Maddox, and a convo topic came up. So I want to talk about that briefly. Y'all know I could talk this whole car ride, but I know y'all don't want a half an hour long video. So we're gonna talk about vetting your partners, right? So this came up in the topic of the live discussion topic was, should black men vent to women? I think yes. But I also think that the venting to women is not the issue. It's venting to the wrong women, because the argument was that they vent to women and then in turn, whatever their vent was is used against them, right? In some type of capacity, when they mad or what have you, fine. So the general consensus on the conversation was like, nah, we shouldn't do it because they're always throwing it in our face, right? So I got on, and essentially what I said was, I can't be mad at their summation of what happens, because people's ideas are always formed by their personal experiences and the experience of the people around them in their circle or whatever. So if that's what they experience, then sorry for them, but I also feel like they're just picking the wrong women, right? So then further on, it was said like, you know what, you're right. The issue is not venting to women. The issue is venting to the wrong women, meaning that you didn't vet that woman long enough to figure out if she's a good candidate to hold you down, to essentially be your peace, to be a safe space, right? And I also pointed out that it doesn't only happen to men, it happens to women, which I did make a video about that. Not necessarily vetting, but I did make a video about using trauma as a weapon, right? Using someone's trauma as a weapon, because obviously it has happened to me. So that was a topic. So now on vetting your partner, I feel like there's different cases, right? Because in the beginning of a relationship, people are going to show you what they think you want them to be, right? They're going to tell you all the right things. They're going to do the right things. And if you wait long enough, they're going to slip up, if there is a slip up to occur. So if they're not who they're pretending to be, you'll see glimpses of who they really are, and it's up to you to have discernment to nip it in the bud and be like, you know what, this not gonna work, this not the person for me, etc., etc., etc. But the issue that a lot of people have is that they either ignore those little glimpses of the truth, or they don't make it far enough to get those glimpses before they just be like, okay, we're in a relationship, we're gonna have sex, da 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 da. And as y'all always know, I will always say it, and I believe it, sex will always cloud your judgment. Sex always clouds judgment, because sex makes people feel things that makes them ignore reality, right? Not everybody, but I feel like everybody to an extent, right? So that's why I feel like people shouldn't really have sex before they decide to be in a relationship, if they want to be in a relationship, because I feel like if they're having sex and those little glimpses of personality, real personality, start to show, the sex kind of overrides that, right? Now for me, I feel like I got those glimpses, and it wasn't the sex. It's never the sex for me, because like I already told y'all, sex is not that important to me on the level of importance of things in life. But for me, it was always like, oh, well, I know this person, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that this was a one-time thing. Oh, it was a two-time thing. Oh, they're just trying to break old habits. Oh, we're not perfect. Like, I was making excuses for red flags that I should have been like, nope, gotta go, not gonna work. Which is how I am now. But again, we all have to learn, we all have to live, we all have to figure out things in our time. And Lord, I wish I figured out some shit earlier, okay? But neither here nor there. Topic of the day, vetting your partner. How long do you think it takes to properly vet somebody? How long do you think you should wait to start a relationship And what do you think are important things to kind of, I guess, vet or figure out during the vetting process? If you want to actually be in a relationship with somebody, all that good stuff. Because I feel like a lot of people skip things. And for me, I always say communication is big for me, because a lot of people drop the ball when it comes to communicating, and a lot of people never really had to effectively communicate with anyone at all. A lot of relationships have existed without proper communication. And so people just continue on into their next relationship and the next relationship, thinking that this is acceptable. And relationships start very young. So children, a lot of children are not allowed to speak how they feel. That carries on. So honestly speaking, it's long, and I'm not going to go on tangents. I feel like it's hard to vet someone. You know what I mean? Honestly, I feel like if somebody wants you to believe something about them, they're going to try their damnedest to have you to believe it. And we as individuals, men and women, we need to start believing people when they show us who they are the first time they show us who they are. Yes, we're human. Yes, we make mistakes. But after a certain age, you're old enough to know what's acceptable and what's not. And the mistakes that are made are choices, and not just random fuck-ups because you learn it. No, you know better. So that's that. Y'all know I already went on a tangent. I wasn't trying to, but listen. All right, y'all. Y'all can let me know how you feel about the topic. This is one of my scrambled topics, but I love y'all anyway.